Okay, so we're recording. Is it your first time on a podcast?
Yes, it is.
First time ever.
First time ever. Yeah.
Okay, and it's gonna be in English.
Yeah. It's not a. It's the first challenge, and the first challenge is not in Portuguese as well.
Exact, to make things even harder, more difficult, more challenging.
Yeah.
This is life, you know. This is life. It's never. It's like those videos when a poor person is doing something and then a terrible accident happens, and then people post, life has a different way of humiliating poor people, you know. So this is life, always intense. So the idea here, my friend, today is for us to have a conversation about your job, your life, and how English is important for you as a way to motivate other people to study, to learn, and not only that, to study English as a mandatory thing, but to take up English as something nice, something good, and to understand that English has to be our can be and has to be our second language, you know, something we do because it's part of who we are, not because we must or have to do it. So let's start by the introduction. Tell everybody who you are and what you do and what you like to do in your free time.
Okay. My name is William Menegazzo. William with N,
With
right?
them. Exactly.
Yeah. And I'm a cardiologist. I work in two hospitals here in Porto Alegre. Uh, my main activity as a cardiologist is cardiac imaging, echocardiography. And also in one of the hospitals, I teach the residents who are in training for being cardiologists in the near future. Uh, Other than my professional activities, I'm also a father of one girl and one boy to come in the next 4 weeks, maybe. And husband, a son, and this is the other side of my person. And
Mhm.
also, I'm a sports enthusiast, mainly running as my own sport, and uh, I'm a Grammy supporter, and in when I'm speaking of leisure time.
When you say Grêmio supporter, do you give money for those guys?
Yes, yeah, but just the smallest amount possible, just in order to, if I want to be in some game, some special match, I have the preference of buying tickets.
And how
But
much is that?
I think it's 36 reais
Oh,
a
okay.
month.
30,
Yes, it's
36. All right.
yeah,
All
yeah.
right. And,
It's
and, and if you want to go to the stadium, how much do you have to pay for the ticket?
I have a 10% discount on the price, on the regular price. So
And how much would the tickets be with the discount?
it depends on the part of the stadium where I want
Average price, average price. Not the highest, not the
uh,
lowest. Just give me a number so I have an idea.
yeah,
300.
I think
300.
no, if the average is no, it's less than this. The smallest prices are around 100 reais,
Okay.
but I think the average is like 150 or 200 reais.
Okay. It's a
Yeah,
good price.
yeah.
So,
No, it's expensive
yeah,
for
especially
watching.
especially because I think many people who go to stadiums are people, I don't know if
Yeah,
they have this money actually, right?
yeah, yeah. Probably it's
Like
a big amount of
if you
the.
go to São Paulo, Corinthians, Flamengo, I don't know, 50% are people in difficult situations, vulnerable financial situations, I don't know, and they are real fanatics, right? Or
Yeah,
fanatics.
I think the supporters who are in the stadium are not a real sample of the real supporters. I think you have to be a little bit richer than the average to be in the stadium, because it's not so it's expensive. It's not
It
cheap
is
to
right.
be there.
It is.
Yeah.
And what about your name, William with N? Have you
Yeah.
ever asked your parents why they named you like that? What happened
I,
there?
I, I think they didn't know that the original William in English is with M. I think they just chose because they think it was more beautiful, or maybe there were some.
They never spoke
Eh,
about it.
no, I haven't asked. I
Ha-
haven't
Have
asked.
have people in school, elementary school, high school, ever said anything, or in the university, or
Sometimes they asked why with N, but the answer is always the same. I don't know exactly. Maybe because my parents thought it was more beautiful.
right?
Yeah.
It's actually a problem for other people, right? Because if I'm trying to save your name in my telephone, it's like, oh, it's with N. I always have to remember that your name is a little different. If I have to write a receipt or invoice or something, I have to remember that.
Yeah, but there are other Williams with N here in
Are there?
Brazil
Really? Okay.
because we do not have this rule. We can have almost any name that we want here in Brazil, right?
That's true. That's true.
So
That's true.
yeah,
And your sisters, do you have a sister, right? Or a brother?
yeah,
What's her name?
sister Michelle,
Michelle. With M, not Michelle.
Michelle. No, no, with M. Yeah, it's
Nice.
the regular Michelle. Although, as we are from an Italian origin, her name in Italy would be Michele, and Michele, it's a name, is a masculine name.
Oh, in
Uh,
Italy.
yeah,
Okay.
Michele is a man's name, and but the origin of the name is from French, so it's Michel, right?
Yeah.
Michel is a feminine name.
I had a
But
situation with a student. His name is, what was his name? It was a long time ago. Oh my God, what was the boy's name? But he had a name in Brazil which is a male name, but that in the USA is a female name. So he told me he was in the hotel and the receptionist was talking to his wife using his name. And the girl said, no, 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 that's not me. This is my husband. And the receptionist was confused. So, so what was the name? I can't remember now, but it will come later. So William, you are a doctor, and English is important for you. We have been working together for a good time now, maybe 3, 4 years, maybe.
almost 3 years, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good time. And indeed, English has been really important for you. Can you tell us of your most recent experience in the USA presenting and how English opened that door for you?
Yeah, of course. Since medical school, I need to read lots of papers in English, lots of technical language. But although I have studied English in my teenager years, I stopped studying English. Just the only study that I had during my medical school years were reading scientific papers. Uh, I have traveled once or twice to the US during my medical school years and then the medical residence years. And I had some difficulty on speaking because I didn't remember the words, all the words and the pronunciation. But then, when I finished my training, I, I realized that I had to restart studying English and speaking English. I was on a trip to California in 2019, and I struggled with the English at the time because I wasn't using the English in my daily routine. Just reading, and the written and the speaking English was lacking, was not good.
Mhm.
So I started listening to lots of podcasts, mainly to train my listening, and started classes with like a year or two after this. And then last year, I started gaining confidence on my English. And last year, I had the opportunity to go to a training in California, Irvine, California. It was a training for 5 or 6 doctors from 4 from Brazil, 2 from Canada, and a team from
I am losing your what you are saying now. Can you just repeat this last part, please? It was a
yeah,
group of.
prosthetic heart valves.
Mhm.
So this is the field, their expertise. And I was there for a training on a specific heart gadget, or a heart uh, kind of a heart valve.
Mhm.
So I had to be there and share some clinical cases here from Brazil, from our hospitals, with the employees from the company, and also doctors from other parts of Brazil and the world. We had at that time 2 Canadian doctors as well. So it was my first experience presenting a case or a lecture in English. Uh, and I had to pick a case, a clinical case from a patient, from a real patient from here from Brazil, prepare slides, prepare uh, my talk, my lecture, and present it to people, which most of them were native English speakers. So of course I was a little bit nervous, although I was studying a lot the case and I knew the details. I was a little bit anxious about speaking in front of native English speakers, and having difficulty to find the right words, and etc. But for my bad luck, the first guy who presented the case was a Canadian one. So I was listening and watching him, and thinking, wow,
Speaking
how,
perfect English, this Canadian, yeah,
yeah, of course, with slangs and phrasal verbs, and some a lot of technical, but also not only technical words. So how can I how can I make myself understandable being the next one? And also one of the two Brazilian guys who with me lived before in Canada for 2 years, so their English was their English was perfect as well. So,
Mhm.
but um, although I was a bit anxious, I could present the case with confidence. The English came, and everyone understood me. So uh, people liked the clinical case, liked the presentation. I had to show some images, heart images, which I acquired here from patients, and everyone could understand and like the presentation. So it was I was invited for this training. I did not um, did not pay to be there, so it was a special opportunity for a
Did
special
they pay for
training.
everything, for the flight, for the hotel?
Yeah, not everything, but a lot of I had a reimbursement for a major part of the trip.
Wow,
Uh,
wow,
yeah,
that's amazing.
yeah, and
So
their
it actually,
goal,
the message here, it shows how important you are, how you do a great job.
yeah,
Of course.
probably, and yeah, I work in big hospitals here, in which the procedure they were teaching us is done, but their prosthesis is a new one in the market, so they wanted people who have experience in their opponent gain some experience also in their prosthesis. So this is their goal. This was their goal, and uh, I am a young cardiologist, and my colleagues who from here from the hospital who had been there with me, they are more experienced. But I am the image guys, and they are the colleagues who what these colleagues who were the first invited people, they are interventionists. So I help them to guide the procedures. Um, and they were invited, and they wanted the company to invite also the image guy, which is me. So
Because you are
yeah,
you are a humble person, but let's be honest here. It takes a lot of preparation, working and studying to reach the level you are today in your profession, right?
uh, yeah. The answer, is right, the strict and first answer is yes. You have to be prepared not only in cardiology but in relationships, in English, uh, soft skills like uh, uh, networking, so
And when you and when you
operations.
and when you say that you were feeling a little nervous, can you describe how you were feeling the day before and moments before speaking in public? Because for me, I panic. I feel really bad. My stomach deregulates, and I feel like fainting before a presentation and sometimes during the presentation. But the way you were saying this, it was like, yeah, I was a little nervous. But hey, you were speaking in front of native speakers about uh, medicine, about something very complex. Describe your feelings exactly so we understand it.
Yeah,
Was it just a little nervous, like, okay, I'm a little worried, or was it like something
yeah.
stronger?
No, I was not feeling like I faint, not something like this. But like a tachycardia, palpitations, you feel your heart is beating more fast, uh, and like you have like a different sensation in your stomach. I felt that things, but I comparing these moments with previous ones, I can say it worse. Uh, uh, Sometimes, like when I had to present my mastering degree thesis, I was probably a little bit more anxious than this day, if I can. compare, you know. But the main therapy for being anxious is to be well prepared for what you're going to present, right?
Perfect. Yeah.
So I felt I was well prepared. I trained with you a week before. Even in the training, I was not that bad, so it was important for me
Mhm.
training presentation with you. So at the time I had to present for the real audience, I was feeling confident that I could present my message. I had some words that I didn't remember at the time, but I managed to speak in another
Yeah,
way.
it happens.
I
It
had
happens to me as well.
there was a specific word that I had to speak, and at the specific time I could not remember by nothing. So I managed to speak to make the people understand what I was planning to say, and like 2 or 3 minutes after I remembered the word,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then I had the opportunity to say the word again. One asked me
This is
something,
amazing.
and I answered with the word I
This is
was
this is
planning to
something
use.
amazing, yeah, because even though you are a heart doctor, but you are in a situation like that, you feel nervous, your heart will work by itself or react by itself, and it's hard to control what happens. And it's interesting you say this. Yeah, words will run out or run away from us. It happens, and that's the point. We start doing it often, and we start learning how to manage the emotions, the lack of words, and we find our way, because people feel nervous to speak English, to commit mistakes which they consider are mistakes, but there are no mistakes. If you forget a word, that's okay. If you don't remember, or if you commit a mistake, it's really all right. But we only learn that by doing, right? If I tell you this and you are nervous, you will not believe me, and then you will go and do and feel and learn and say, yes, you were right. But we only learn by doing, and
Yeah,
that's, we only learn by doing, because you prepared, because as you said, you were studying, you were preparing. This opportunity happened to you because you were ready for it. Because if they had proposed to you to go and you said, yeah, but I can't speak English, unfortunately you would not be able to go. You would not even be invited, maybe, right?
yeah. And although I'm not 100% confident on my English, uh, I I accepted the challenge. You know, my English is not perfect, far from this, but I'm training. I'm training for some years. I will keep training as I had this specific need of presenting a case. I trained more for presenting the case, but I was not planning. It was not on my plans to lose this opportunity because of my lack of confidence on my English. So
Right.
uh, although I'm not 100% confident, I took the opportunity and took the challenge and trained more for uh, making this training be possible, right?
And when I say to people that they should have understand that English is their second language, you are a person who embodies this idea I have, because you are using English because it's who you are now. You read, you watch some stuff, even though we're not having classes all the time, but you are doing things by yourself, right? Because you understand English is who you are. So what sorts of things do you do on a regular basis in terms of English?
I think this trip that I mentioned before in 2019 to California was like a special point on my English studies where I realized that I had to consume English almost every day.
Hmm.
And then I this opportunity to improve my English and improve my medical knowledge, listening to English podcasts mainly in medicine.
Hmm.
Uh, so I listen to English podcasts almost every day,
Hmm.
uh, uh, just in English without translation, without subtitles, just
Perfect.
listening.
Yeah.
I do not understand everything. Sometimes I am on traffic and I had to pay attention to the traffic, but the English is happening. I'm listening to some things. So, of course, we can learn a little bit, even if we are not paying total attention, we are learning and listening to some things. I also watch TV series, but generally with subtitles because my wife wants.
Mm.
But it also when I am aware, I always try to pay attention to the English the actors are speaking, and sometimes do not read the subtitles. Um, I try to read some books out of medicine. Sometimes I do not have lots of time for this, but sometimes I read books in English on other areas of interest. Um, and I think this is the main activities that I do to keep the English running in
Yeah, and
my daily routine.
I realized yesterday I had a little bad situation with a student because I realized something. Most English learners, they don't have this understanding that English is not easy. You really have to do it every day in order to achieve a good level. I was having this class with a student. He only shows up for the classes. He doesn't do anything else. He's a beginner. He's a businessman, and he really needs English. And I'm always talking to him, and I cannot be so straightforward. And then yesterday he finished reading a text. It was not very good, and he said, "Wow, teacher, I am improving, aren't I?" And I was, "Sorry, brother. I have to be honest with you. You're not improving at all. We're working for 2 years now." And I said, "Look, you have to practice every day." He shows up for the classes, but I realized in his mind he was improving because he has no dimension of how far he is from the reality of it. So when I say to people that they have to have English as a second language, I also complement by saying, let's plan a travel for the person to go to study abroad because it will give you what California gave to you, this shock of reality of, oh my God, this is way harder than I thought. Yeah, yes, it is way harder. But it's amazing when we can read and watch a video and understand or speak to people, right?
Yeah, and in being there for the ones who have the opportunity, there's nothing better than being there. You have to
Exactly.
solve problems. You lost a flight. You can lose a flight. You have to change a flight because your plans change. You have to go to some different parts of the city. You have to get information. I think solving problems in a trip is probably the most not big problems, maybe sometimes small problems like changing a flight, as I said, are probably the most enriching situations when your English gets improved.
Exactly.
So it happened to me sometimes. It was more than one time. So they were it were the situations were difficult, but after solving them, it was nice. We feel confident that we have enough English to travel to solve problems. So being there, but you cannot travel to the US or any part of the world with any English. You have to have at least a minimum standard. You have to.
Hmm. Absolutely, absolutely. Do you remember the first time you speak with a foreigner in English and how you felt about it and how hard it was?
No, I don't remember. My first international trip was to the US in 2009.
Hmm.
But I don't remember if it was the first time I spoke with a foreigner.
Because, or if you remember any funny situation or awkward situation, because I remember one of my first interactions in real English. It was in Germany. We were visiting a famous castle. Neuschwanstein is the name of the castle, the Disney castle. And we met a couple from Holland, and they started speaking with us. And because we were Brazilians, they were so happy. And we started speaking. They were an older couple, and at the beginning of the conversation, I was understanding, but then they started talking about like a story of their life, of their job, and I remember losing the line of understanding, the thread of the logic of what she was saying. I got totally lost. I was just shaking my head, saying, "Uh huh, all right, yeah," but I was understanding nothing. I was just thinking, what is she talking about? I wasn't able to figure out what the context was. Because usually you have a context. If you don't understand one or two words, you understand the context. I had no context. I was lost. And then after like a 1 hour conversation or interacting or 2 hours, I don't know, then I started understanding. And then it was a couple. The woman, she was very comfortable speaking English, but the man was not. When I spoke to him, I understood what he said because his English was more simple. So then I was shifting to him, I was understanding, I got back to her, and then I started understanding again. And then I was like, wow, this is so hard. This is not easy at all. And I was a good student. So it really takes some time and some emotions. So that was one of my first interactions. But it's a good memory. I still remember that day. Did you have any
Well,
situation like that, or?
I have two stories. One is when I traveled in 2009. I was in an exchange program where I planned and actually did a 3 month period of working there. And I was on my vacations here in university, and I spent 3 times working there, earning a little bit of money, a little bit because it was on the 2008 crisis, and
That's right.
the wages were low, and but I could earn enough to pay my needs there. Uh, and so I spent 3 times speaking English almost every day. But I had colleagues from Cuba, from Peru, from Mexico, and from Taiwan, from China, and from the US. The most difficult one to understand was the American guy. The other ones I could understand better the English. And when he was an old man from the US, like his 60s or 70s, and it was really tough to understand him. And he used to say, "Are you understanding me?" He asked me
Right.
if I was understanding him. Yeah, with difficulty, I can understand you. And the other situation that I had was more recent when I had an interview for a. It was not. It is not a job, but it was for an activity that I'm developing with people from the US. And the first question that the guy asked me, the interviewer, was, "Oh, how did you met that person?" and he pronounced the name, and I could not understand the name. I was not understanding the name of the girl, or the woman was Cecilia, and he talked. How do you met Cecilia? And Sicilia, is he speaking about Sicily? He's speaking about Sicily because I have an Italian surname.
Right.
What he's saying, I can, but oh, Cecilia. So I remembered which Cecilia he was speaking. I I speak with this woman Cecilia for 2 times in email. I I was not thinking that she would be the topic of the interview.
Right.
So Cecilia, yeah, she's a friend from a friend of mine. So I needed 1 or 2 minutes to understand what was happening in the first question of the interview, but
Right.
after that,
It
everything was
happens.
okay.
It
Yeah.
absolutely happens. Yeah. I remember this situation. I was working for this company as an interpreter because we received lots of international auditings. And one of them was with Chinese people. But they had a translator, a Puerto Rican guy. So the Chinese were speaking English, but they had another person to understand the Chinese English into a listenable English. So it was so awkward. And I was like, dude, we don't need like a translator from English to English. We can understand. I couldn't. I was listening the Chinese guy was, what is he talking? And then the Puerto Rican guy would speak in English, in real English. And I was, how are you understanding them, because it was so hard. And he said, no, no, because I'm used to, and I lived in China, I speak a little Mandarin, so I know the tricks of understanding, but for me, there was no way of understanding. It was really hard. So it happens. Hence, the importance of watching TV programs or listening to podcasts without subtitles. And you do it right because in real life, we don't have the subtitles. We just have to listen, and even though it's hard, and try to figure it out. And the more we do it, the better we get at it. We start being able to understand even hard and difficult words. I have many people from. Just a second, let me change something here. Okay, there was a propaganda play in the background. Uh, I have lots of students. They work with technology, and they have to speak with people from India. And I always tell them, look, never say Indians have bad English because they English is their second language. But yes, they have a strong, difficult accent to understand. Have you ever had any encounter with Indians? It is
Yeah,
hard, right?
in this last trip, I had to talk with the airline company through telephone, and the marketing operator, which was answering the phone call, was with strong Indian accent. It was really difficult to understand.
Yeah.
So and by phone is even worse because there is this ambient noise,
Mhm.
so it was an experience, but
You and I, we always like to speak about, even though you are a doctor and I work with English, but we also like talking a little about money and investments, and you like this topic. And I remember that recently you recommended me to read or follow Morgan Housel,
mhm,
and you were reading the book.
mhm,
Last weekend, I attended a finances and investment class. It was a whole day class, and the professor he was there with two books, many books actually, and two of them were from Morgan Housel. And he said to us, before you start investing, working with the money, you have to work here, the psychology. And then he mentioned Morgan Housel. And that's a guy who has worked with finance his whole life. And he was saying, guys, before you work with the money, you have to learn how to control your behavior, emotions, because finance and money, it's just numbers, just paper. But everything else related to it, it's emotions, it's behavior. We have to learn how to control our spending habits. our emotional traumas that lead us to not be able to make money or not be able to save money. And have you read both books by Morgan Housel or just one?
The Psychology of Money.
The
This one I
Psychology.
wrote in English. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you read that book in English as well?
Yeah,
Oh,
this
that's
one, yeah.
amazing. So, what made you like that book, and how hard was it to read the book in English?
Yeah, well, the book is fantastic for anyone who is planning to invest. Uh, uh, Anyone who wants to give a better destination to the money uh, uh, earned through his job or their activities. It talks not specifically about ways of investing, but how to invest and how to train your mind and your psychology to do the right choices. So it is I definitely recommend for anyone who is planning to start investing in stocks and and long-term investments to read this book to know what to expect and what not to expect as well.
Right.
And I don't know the second.
And how hard was the English of the book to understand?
It was not difficult. I could understand. I don't remember on searching lots of words. Although there are some technical words on financing, on on
Finances.
yeah, finances. It is a really well written book and accessible to anyone who wants to read it.
Right. And we
It's
also
not a
watched,
technical book.
right. And I remember we watched an interview with Morgan Housel, right? And his speaking English is also really nice. It's really good to listen to.
Yeah, he's a good communicator, and he also has this podcast where he speaks slow and with good intonation. It's really nice to hear him as well.
It is. It is. And we also share a common liking for running. And how has your running been? Because I remember a few weeks ago you were with a strong flu, you were recovering.
Yeah,
How's the
yeah.
running going?
I could not restart yet. I'm planning to restart after our class right now.
Nice.
Yeah, I am 20-day strong work and the work routine, and also uh, 20 consecutive day of strong work routine, and also had this virus that uh, made me
All
stop
right.
with that.
You had a strong virus. It was not the flu. I remember now. Yeah.
I had to stop almost all my exercising for like a week, and then I tried to restart. I was not feeling okay yet, so I think now I'm good. I'm planning to restart today and see what I can achieve.
And
But not expecting a lot because I'm like 10 days without running, and the last one it was horrible. So probably
are you
not.
planning on running outdoors today?
I was, but before starting the class, I was looking at the temperature, and it's 29 degrees Celsius right now. So, wow, it's hot. So I'll
I
see.
I
But
would guess even higher, maybe even hotter. 29,
uh,
maybe it's more. I don't know. I don't know. And and also it's kind of hard for you to manage your time nowadays because you have a second baby coming, right?
yeah,
It's a
yeah,
boy. Have you chosen the name already?
yeah, it's Otavio.
Otavio. That's right. So how's the preparation going? How is the management of the agenda? And what can you say to couples who only have one kid? Do you recommend having a second one? What changes in life?
Uh, well, I it's, uh, it's the delivery of his arrival is probably the next month, in the next 4 weeks, and of course for my wife the preparation needs to be more strong, so she's uh, working less, and after this carnival holiday she will work just a little bit. Uh, we are counting on our parents' help in the first days. We're also taking care of our daughter, when we will be in the hospital with the baby. We are really happy. We are really excited the the arrival of Flavio. A little bit worried also because we know that the first days are a lot of work and some difficulties, but lots of love also, lots of good moments. But now with another kid, right? So we
Yeah,
have two kids to take care. Uh, but we're excited with his arrival. Uh, I cannot say if having a second kid is right or wrong for the ones who are planning to, because I am not aware yet of what's coming. But if I can say that I had a wonderful experience being a parent for the first time that I had. Me and my wife wanted to have this experience one more time, and also uh, give the opportunity to Kara and also time to be mother and sister. Right?
exactly, exactly. Yeah, it's never an easy decision, right? It's expensive. I'm sure couples want to have more kids. So maybe two is a good number, yeah. One is a few, too few, three is a little too much, too many, but two I think is manageable, and because
Yeah,
nowadays life is very complex, right?
uh, it's not. It needs time. We have to be present, be to educate, to give the example. Uh, so we have our careers.
Mhm.
So, but if we stop and try to put weight on which is good, which is bad, and think too much, you you do not have the courage to have more kids.
Mhm.
There is something that we cannot measure, that is the sensation of being a father, and the love to have for another one. So uh, we are not in control of everything, but uh, um, the experience for the first time was wonderful. We, we expect, and we are praying that the second one is as good as the first one.
That's why planning the financial life is important,
Yeah, connecting the two topics. Yeah,
right?
it's expensive. We have to have a good plan on our finances to have this, because they are expensive.
And it
If we want to give good conditions to
and it
them.
requires a long-term planning. And also, are you investing for your kids already? For Clara and for Otavio when he's born?
Yes, I am. Uh, I have made an account for her, and now the account is for them. Uh, I every month that I can that some money is every month that I can manage to save money. I have a main investment account, and this is the second one. So every month that the I can save money, I put on their account. We have some short-term plans that we have to prioritize right now. But for the long term, of course, we are starting to plan their universities or whatever it will happen
Perfect.
when they have like 20 years. The world is changing a lot. I don't know if the regular university will keep existing when the time for them
Yeah,
arrives.
a lot of things will change. And another topic we share always is movies and TV series. Have you watched anything interesting lately, or are you watching anything?
Yeah, I'm the mood of the parenthood. I'm watching a series called Parenthood.
Mhm.
I think I mentioned for you before.
You did.
Uh, really good series, a little bit of drama, but it's an easy series, relaxing. So me and my wife are watching together and enjoying a lot. And I started watching one, the same director of uh, that series in New Mexico, where the guy make drugs. I'm not remembering the name.
Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad, yeah, it's the same director, and the series is called Pluribus. Pluribus.
Sorry, what's the name? I lost you for a sec.
Pluribus. Something like I'm not
Oh, Pluribus. Pluribus.
not totally.
Have you
Uh,
started watching that TV show?
I started 3 episodes. I watched 3 episodes. It's really different TV series about uh, change in it's fiction, but the the abstract is that the humanity, the mind of the greatest people in the world change, and they connect to each other, and they have a collaborative environment, totally collaborative environment of peace. But there are like 10 people in the world that do not join this collaborative uh, uh, uh,
Community.
yeah, and they start suffering and wanting the world to be as it was before all this huge change. And the series develops in this context. It's nice, it's different,
Is it
it's creative.
is it a catching TV show? Like when you are
Yeah, it
watching,
is.
does it catch your?
Yeah, yeah.
Seems
Not
nice.
like the series like Casa de Papel that is totally catching you. You have to
Yeah.
keep watching a lot. It's not like this, but you want to know what is going to happen
What
in the
was the
next.
TV show that you liked the most in your life?
I would say two. One of two equal Game of Thrones
Hmm.
and This Is Us. I think that it's
This
the
is us. Whoa,
yeah
that's a hard one.
yeah
This is us. Sometimes I don't recommend to some people because it's very emotional.
yeah it is
And
yeah
then if I think, well, maybe this person is not in the time to handle it, maybe not a good idea. But the TV show is really good. It's
yeah
really good. And Game of Thrones I haven't watched, but I'm sure it's amazing
yeah
because everybody was watching 15 years ago. Like it was like Lost.
Yes,
Everybody was watching and talking about it.
it's really good.
It's
Yeah.
a powerful one, right? It's a powerful one. Okay, my friend. So I guess we covered a lot of ideas that we usually speak about, and I'm sure that for those listening to this conversation, it will influence them to pick up English and keep not just studying but learning because they understand it's important and it's part of who they are. Thank you very much for your time and see you soon.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity, and I hope that someone uh, feels motivated to keep studying English.
They will. They will. Thank you very much, sir. See you. Bye
See
bye.
you. Bye bye.